Do you ever feel like the version of yourself online is different from the one in real life? Maybe you're more confident behind a screen, more opinionated in a comment section, or more playful in a group chat than you'd ever be face to face. Many of us have felt this difference, and it raises an important question. Do we actually become different people online, or are we just showing parts of ourselves that usually stay hidden? Let's explore this through the lens of sociology and psychology. The internet is not just a tool, it's a stage. Sociologist Erving Goffman once described everyday life as a performance, where we play roles depending on the audience. You act one way with family, another way with friends, and another way at work. Online spaces magnify this effect. Each platform, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Reddit, becomes a different stage with a different audience. On Instagram, you might be carefully curated and polished. On Twitter, sarcastic and witty. On Reddit, completely anonymous and brutally honest. None of these are fake. They're fragments of the same person, revealed in different contexts. Psychologists also talk about the concept of the online disinhibition effect. Simply put, when we're behind a screen, we feel less restrained. Anonymity, invisibility, and the lack of immediate consequences all contribute to people saying or doing things they never would in person. Sometimes this is positive. People open up about struggles, share unpopular opinions, or express creativity. But it can also be negative, leading to trolling, cyberbullying, or toxic behavior. The internet lowers barriers, and what comes out depends on what's already inside us. There's also the matter of identity experimentation. Online spaces allow people to try on different versions of themselves, almost like costumes. A shy teenager might become outspoken in a gaming community. Someone struggling with their real-world identity may find comfort in expressing a hidden part of themselves online. This is not necessarily fake, it's a way of exploring the complexity of who we are. In fact, for some people, their online self feels more authentic than the one they perform in daily life, because digital spaces give them the freedom to drop social expectations. But this flexibility raises another question. If we present ourselves differently online, which version is the real us? Some argue that our digital selves are exaggerated masks, carefully curated to impress or protect us. Others argue that online identity is just as real as offline identity, it's simply a different facet of our personality. Think of it like light passing through a prism, the same source, but refracted into different colors depending on the angle. At the same time, online behavior isn't entirely individual, it's shaped by the platforms themselves. Social media algorithms reward certain behaviors, like posting attractive photos, writing catchy captions, or making controversial statements. Over time, people adapt to what gets the most likes, shares, or retweets. In other words, the architecture of digital spaces pushes us toward certain versions of ourselves. A person might become more performative, more extreme, or more polished online because that's what the system rewards. We are not just choosing identities, we are being shaped by the platforms we use. Sociologists also point out that online life blurs the line between public and private. In the past, your social roles were separated. Family, work, school, and friends rarely overlapped. Now, one post can be seen by co-workers, classmates, and strangers all at once. This collapse of social boundaries forces people to carefully manage their self-presentation. That's why so many people describe feeling anxious about what they post online. In a way, the pressure of being watched by multiple audiences at once makes us more strategic, but also less authentic. And yet, despite these challenges, online spaces can reveal truths about who we are. Think about the people who find communities they never had access to in real life, LGBTQ+ youth discovering supportive spaces, or hobbyists finding global groups who share their passion. For them, the online self isn't fake at all. It's the most honest expression of identity, finally given the freedom to breathe. So, do we become different people online? The answer is both yes and no. We don't become entirely new beings, but the internet amplifies, shapes, and sometimes distorts the many sides of who we already are. Our digital selves are not masks hiding our true nature, they are mirrors reflecting parts of us that are context-dependent. In some cases, those reflections may be exaggerated or even misleading, but in other cases, they reveal aspects of identity that offline life suppresses. What this really shows us is that identity is never fixed. It's fluid, shifting depending on context, audience, and environment. Online spaces simply make this more visible and more extreme. We are not one person, but many, and the internet gives us the stage to perform all those versions of ourselves, whether polished, raw, playful, or vulnerable. The real question may not be whether we become different people online, but whether we are finally seeing just how many different people we already are.